Welcome live, everybody, to Champ Sports and Spirits. It's a Wednesday night, time for another edition of our Coach's Corner show. I am Craig Killman, going to be joined this evening by Taylor Sweatfigure coming up in just a little bit. We'll also have our players of the game from last week, our offensive player of the game, our K&K Body Works Northwest Electric offensive player of the game was Austin Sklar, the junior quarterback for the Bugs, and the defensive player of the game was senior linebacker Ridge Eubanks. We'll join them to talk coming up in just a little bit. This is, of course, our regular time frame for our Coach's Corner show every Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 7. It's kind of the evening for coaches' shows out here at Champ Sports and Spirits. We talk Gold Bugs first, and it leads up to the 7 o'clock hour. We'll slide in and talk Ranger football inside the lines. That show coming up at the top of the hour. But first, it's all about the Gold Bugs as we bring in first-year head coach Taylor Sweatfigure. Coach, how are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good. Obviously, lots to break down, really, when you talk about last week. It was a heck of an atmosphere, which we knew it would be. I thought our fans traveled well, which is exactly what we talked about on last week's show. Obviously, they're the defending state champions, so you know they're going to have a big atmosphere for them. And it was just a heck of a ball game. It didn't necessarily look like it was going to be that at the start. We talked last week about how we thought we wanted things to go. It wasn't quite the start I know you guys were hoping, but so nice to see this team pick themselves up, and they had to do that during the game and, get down 21-0, come back, really put yourself in position to win the game, which you hoped you would be able to do. Ultimately fell a little bit short, but all things being considered, it was just a heck of a football game.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable. If you would have asked, honestly, hey, are you going to be able to go down to the defending state champions, who's overwhelmingly picked to win Class A again, and say, hey, look, you're going to go toe-to-toe with them and have a chance to win the fourth quarter. And by the way, you were 0-10, and you're on an actually 0-12 losing streak.
Yeah.
You don't ever know. That's why you play the game. But what a feeling for these kids to know that every bit that they put in the last 6 months, every time they've gone to summer workouts, all spring ball, all summer camps, all 7-on-7s, all fall ball, we're two-a-days for 2 weeks. I mean, all those things that we've done to this point, is they got to see it and they got to feel it. And after the game, we talked the next day, Saturday, and they said, Coach, they said, we felt like we were in the game late when they were tired.
Yeah.
I mean, they were visibly hurt and tired, and we were getting stronger.
I'll tell you this, I made the comment after the game with Ron and I on the broadcast. I felt like we looked like, and I know it was physical for us, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure we were, spent in a lot of ways too, but they looked like the team that was spent. They looked like the team that had been through a war.
Yeah.
They had a lot of guys with cramps and, walking around, and just, obviously they had the big injury with Hayden Herrera, which I just hated to see that. I really did. Tore the ACL, and for a senior, I had the feeling that might have been what it was, but you just hate to see that. But they really looked like the beaten team, in all honesty, and we looked relatively fresh for having gone through what we went through.
Yeah, absolutely. And the kids know that, and they saw that, and they feel it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Saturday morning, you're fixing to talk to 2 guys that we had to help carry in here, but there's a reason, because they played the way they played. They just unbelievable effort. And, what I hope, when you're breaking down that Thomas game is, my phone blew up Saturday. From all over the state. Yeah. I mean, coaches all over the state, people in the community, and everybody said the same thing. Hey, Coach, I know you didn't get the win, but we are so proud of your boys. Yeah. And I am too. I mean, my gosh, you go toe-to-toe, like you said. You made the comment, Alva's never had the lead on Thomas.
No, never.
And not only do we have the lead, we had the chance to put them away.
Yes.
And when we're more vested and we're more seasoned, we will.
Yeah.
This team in 6 weeks would have put them away.
Yeah, I agree.
We're just not there yet. And that comes through game repetitions and game scenarios, and we'll get there. I was so pleased to see I knew that we could play well. At times, I knew we were going to have spurts where we played well, but I didn't know after being down 21-0 what would happen.
Yeah.
And
that's not something you can simulate either.
No.
Obviously, you can't.
And after all the bad things they've been through, they were able to, these guys will tell you, all I've talked about for 6 months is, and they get tired of me hearing me say it, But how you handle adversity is what makes you a man.
Yeah.
And that's all we talk about. I mean, no matter what it is in life or football, or how you handle adversity is what makes you up inside.
Yeah.
And, God, I mean, how proud can you be of those boys? I mean, to fight 25 straight.
Yeah.
And have the chance to put them away. And I'm extremely proud of them. I'm excited for the future. I hope that, at the end of the day, we know we didn't get the win.
Yeah.
And we need a win. And so I hope our kids understand, our community understands how hard it is to actually go out and win a football game. And so that's what we're hoping to do Friday night.
Let's take a couple of things from the game and kind of break it down a little bit. Obviously, they get the ball. We win the toss, defer. They obviously made it look pretty easy that first drive, 7 plays, 88 yards. It was a lot what you thought it would be. It was Herrera, it was Johnson running, doing most of that. They score, they go up, and then the kickoff happens, and we kind of gift wrap, basically a touchdown to them as they take over on their own 13. It takes one play to score. So there's a little bit of shell-shocked there from from what we saw last year, as we talked about. Then we go 3 and out on our first possession. They come back, 2 plays, boom, they score again. So, as you look at it at that stage, when you guys are at that 21-0 hole, was there any one seminal moment where you just rallied, or was it just, hey, we just got to do this, and that very next drive, I know we did.
Well, as they came off the field, we got everybody together out there. I mean, and then we talked, had some words that were exchanged,
sure.
that would be given in a time like that, and kind of called them out. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I did. I called them out, and they responded. I mean, we move the ball a little bit offensively, then they would get a big penalty from them, roughing the kicker, and then jumps life back into it. And I'm gonna tell you, number 3 that you're fixed to talk to over here sparked it. I mean, made play with his feet. We had a good. Actually, we missed a touchdown pass because of the official. I mean, if you see that,
yes.
I mean, you hate to say that.
No, I know.
But he did. He tripped up our receiver.
Sure.
I mean, wide open, and then we come back from that and then hit Greg, on the post, and Austin makes a great play with his feet. I think we converted a first down before that on a screen, if I remember right. But to say what sparked it, I think Austin had a lot to do with it. He's always going. I mean, his motor goes.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's why he's sitting here tonight. It's why he picked it. But he kept it going, made a play with his feet. The offensive line, our line did a tremendous job with them. I mean, if you look at them, they outweighed us by 4 pounds across the board.
Of course. They were huge.
I mean, and our guys get great effort. And Austin makes a scramble, sticks his toe in the ground, lets one fly. We make a great play. Hey, when it's 21-7, it was, I mean, I hate to say it, but it was on. Our kids thought, man, this is obtainable. And we scored on a team that didn't give up a point in the state title game.
Yeah.
And our kids knew that. They played cash in the finals, and they graduated 3 off defense, and we didn't give up a point. Or they didn't give up a point in the finals, and we go score on them. And that was like, all of a sudden, hey, we can play with these guys.
Yeah.
And then we didn't look
almost
back.
like a mentality thing, get the monkey off the back.
It
so
was.
to speak. Wow, hey, we can do this.
It was, absolutely. And then it just, it opened up. Boom. I mean, I think we had, offensively, I think we have 150 passing or something like that, and 90 rushing or 100 rushing. I don't know. I mean, it's 230 or 40 total yards.
Pretty balanced, yeah.
And a lot of it was him carrying the ball, but but that was give it to Thomas. That was a lot of reads.
Right, and I was going to say it looked to me like in particular. They had Hayden Colwell's number kind of tattooed somewhere because every time he touched the ball, you got the feeling they knew he was a guy that could break some things. He didn't get a lot of open looks, and so you had to run some things that were a little bit different than that.
And then we've worked with him a lot this week on getting him in some better situations where he can read what we're blocking up front. He missed some reads up front, but that's going to be an experience. I mean, this is a new offense. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
To do what we did with a new offense.
Yes.
Hey, and to go out there in our no-huddle scheme. And how we got them offsides, I don't know how many times.
Yes.
We didn't have any delayed games. And, I mean, that's what people kept saying. How is this offense going to work? How are these kids going to pick it up? How are you going to do it? Well, they can do it just fine.
Yeah.
And they proved that, against the number 1 team in the state. So if we can get better every week and continue to get that rhythm going, find our identity. We don't quite yet have our identity.
Yeah.
Once we do, we're going to be really good defensively. We have an identity.
Yeah.
And
I think we saw that in a lot of ways.
We'll talk to Coach Sklar here in a minute, but his physicality that we bring, him and I, when we first got together on this, It took us all about 2 seconds to come together on our scheme that we wanted to do and agree on, and he's got a great scheme, and I love it, and I like to play aggressive. Fast and physical. That's what we say all the time. Offensively, defensively, fast and physical. And I guarantee you Thomas knows that.
Yes.
I mean, well,
it was like the flip, the switch just got flipped, because after, not only offensively we made some things happen, got to 21-7, it was 21-13 at half. We shut that offense down for 2 quarters. Second quarter, third quarter, they did nothing.
They did nothing.
All of their yards, and they had quite a bit of them when you total them all up. They were from the first 3 drives of the game, and really the first 2, because the one was just 13 yards, and then the latter stages of that fourth quarter, which was that big drive that got them the win.
Got us,
But other than that, they didn't do anything. They didn't pick a lot of first downs up. We started doing a really good job of getting them off on third downs and things like that. Our defensive pressure was tremendous. Second and third quarters combined, it was just bar none.
It was great. I mean, it was absolutely great. I mean, and to me, that's any good head coach is going to tell you, if we're going to have a great team, we better be good defensively. And that's going to be the backbone of our team. I mean, it really is. It's going to be the MO of our team. We are physical. That's how we play. When you're going to play Alva, you're going to get physical. I don't know what the score is going to be. We don't talk about that. All we talk about is knowing that when you leave the game, you're going to know you were in a dogfight, and you don't want to play us again. Yeah. And I think we accomplished that last week.
You've also, and this goes without saying, but you got some dang tough kids on your roster. One of them is the kid we're going to talk to, Austin, the quarterback. I just can't believe one of the shots that he took from the Cooper Marsh kid, and I'll ask him that myself, but, it just looked like, I don't know how he even stood up after that, but I mean,
and then scored the next play.
Scored, so I mean, it was those type of things, the physical toughness, the mental toughness, you're really ingraining in these guys.
It is, and then when you ask them here, you ask them what our motto is. What is it that we live by? What is it that we put on the back of their jerseys? Underneath their Under Armour, it says MTXE. Yeah. And that's what we live by. I mean, it's mental toughness, extra effort. Yeah. And that's going to win games. And we gave ourselves a chance to win with that. Yeah. And so it really is. I mean, they're picking it up. They're buying into it. We just need to go out, I'm a little bit worried about their mentality this week. You come off of an emotional game like that, and it's hard to recover. Yeah. It really is hard to recover and not play up or down to your competition. We played up last week. Yeah. And we found a groove, and we rolled with it. And I hope that we stay there. I don't want to see us, take a step back.
And I was thinking along these same lines this week that you're thinking along. The only thing that I would say that hopefully you have a good, in terms of teaching things, to say, guys, we still haven't won a game in 13.
Absolutely.
Not trying to, but
it is. They know
that just kind of driving home that point to say we're not a team that can overlook anybody. We're not to that stage, obviously.
No.
So I mean, that hopefully is something where they can kind of say we can't rest on our laurels at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And Monday night we talked about it. We didn't have very good Monday night practice. And I said, if you guys want your MO to be, hey, we almost beat the state champs. What is that? Yeah. And they know they don't want that. They don't want that. They're as upset they lost the game as anybody, but they also know that they can play. Yeah. And that's a big deal, to know that you can play. You're capable of doing it. And we made corrections in film. Like I told you, we're going to see in film there was 4 or 5 plays individually where we busted. Yeah. You wouldn't know it by looking, but we did, and they ended up costing us. Yeah. Just a little misread here, a wrong route here, a missed scrape here defensively, a wrong fit here defensively. Just little things like that ended up could have won us the football game that we're going to fix.
Yeah, the other thing that I took out of that game too, and you mentioned it a little bit, it's hard to win a football game, and it's even harder when it's been a while since you won one, because there were obviously opportunities we could put that game away, and obviously the goal line situation after they fumble it right back to us, and we get it right down there. Yeah. You score there, it's not a given, but there's a real good shot you hang on and win that game if you win if you get that one. I mean, we wound up going down to the 5-yard line and didn't get in. That was really one you'd love to have had back, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're looking at that series, and that's what I'm talking about. We missed a read there. We had a guy open over the middle. We missed a scrape block on that play that was designed for a certain reason. We missed it. And it's not that we were not, positively moving the ball. We were moving positive things. But you can't, those little things are what win you a game, And so when we missed those and then we overthrow on the fade, things like that combined, we'll be better at it. And that's the thing. I took some credit for that. I said, hey, we'll be better. I don't know our identity yet, and when I feel better about the red zone and what we can do, and I'll put us in better positions, and we'll do a better job with that. So, but looking at it, yes, we absolutely had an opportunity. But hey, go back to what you said. It was a teaching tool for us.
Yes.
That Marsh kid came in at tailback, and he was physically hurting.
He was.
He was throwing up on the field. I mean, he was tired. He'd been through a war, and he said, I'm not going to let you guys beat me.
Yeah.
On my field, my senior year, I'm going to find a way to win. And winners win games. And that's what I told our kids. I mean, and you can take a lot from that kid and his toughness. And it was a great teaching tool for us. Our kids saw it, and they said, you know what? I mean, you're right. And I said, when we have a guy step up and say, you're not going to beat me, we're going to win.
Yeah.
And then another guy does it, and another guy does it, and another guy does it. And we'll get there. We'll get there.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, maybe talk to defense coordinator Mike Sklar, get the players of the game in real quick, and then we'll have another segment. So take a quick time out and be back. It's our Coach's Corner show tonight, live here from Champs on KLV. Again, welcome back to Champs. Craig Killman along with you. Our Coach's Corner show tonight as we talk Goldbug football. We'll bring in our players of the game here in just a bit. But right now, a quick segment with Goldbug defensive coordinator Mike Sklar. Mike, how are you, sir?
Good.
Good. Let's talk Goldbug defense, and in particular what we saw in the Thomas game. First of all, I've talked with Taylor a lot about the scheme you guys have put in, the defensive scheme that you wanted to start the season with, and it really, obviously had some issues early with them running the ball very well, but I thought, and I talked with Coach about this as well, from the second quarter on to all through the second and the third, defensively, boy, we really amped up the pressure, really brought a lot of things. What was your take on the defensive side of things in that Thomas game?
Well, early on we didn't fit very well, as far as where the kids meshed together on the field.
Yeah.
As they settled down and cut loose and just played, they really started coming together as a unit, and I think we'll see a lot more success from that first game.
What are some of the things that you really like about the defense that you guys are running, the 3-4 primarily? What are some of the great things that you just really love to run in terms of this defense?
Well, we just get our kids in space and let them play fast. We try to make everything fit really easy so the kids don't have to think a whole lot and just go play real fast.
I think you saw that a lot, especially with Ridge, who we're going to talk about, Ridge Eubanks. Just seemed to be shooting the gaps everywhere and just had a nose for not only the tackles but for the football. And it was just a accumulation. All of your guys seemed to just go towards the football. I mean, it was like a gang tackling situation through most of the game.
Right. We missed some tackles early on. Like I said, we had some misfits as far as where we're at. But overall, for where we're at in year one, in a defensive scheme that's new to these kids, and, being able to tackle on the run versus, basically breaking down and waiting until something comes to you.
Right.
We're a pressure-style defense. We're going to come after people. We're going to create turnovers. We're not really big up front, so we don't feel like we can just sit and read.
Sure.
So, our attack-style defense fits our kids. Our kids have bought into it really well. Ridge had a great game, so did Ethan Harsman, but that's our scheme. Our kids in the middle really understand that they're trying to bounce everything and spill everything outside to them, and they understand that they're going to have a lot of one-on-one opportunities out there.
When you look at when you just grade the defense so far, it's only been one game, obviously, but do you feel pretty good about where this defense is, at this stage of putting it in?
Yeah, we're really pleased, especially after the Woodward scrimmage. We were a lot further along than we thought we'd be at this time. We didn't come out really firing real good at the beginning of the Thomas game.
Sure.
The first 3 series, 5 minutes of the game, but everything's new.
Yeah.
Really played really well. We didn't communicate very good at the end of the game. Pressure was on. We just didn't communicate.
Sure.
And that's we're trying to get that fixed as a staff this week. And kids really played really well, and they're going to come together, and I think we're going to have a very successful season on both sides of the ball. I mean, we're seeing a lot of improvement on offense today, and, defense fit really well today. And, I think the kids have bought in, and, we'll see a lot more players making a lot more plays as we go along.
That's certainly what it takes, no doubt about it. Mike, appreciate you stepping and talking with us for a little bit, and we'll look forward to talking on down the line.
No, thank you.
You bet. Our thanks to Mike Sklar, Goldbug defensive coordinator. We're going to bring the players of the game over, and we'll slide them in, get both of those guys some comments. We'll start we'll start on the defensive side since we just talked to Mike Sklar. We're going to talk to Goldbug outside linebacker and senior Ridge Eubanks. Ridge, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you, Craig?
I'm not bad at all. Our defensive player of the game from last week against Thomas. One of the more, and I mean, you know, you could look at it in a lot of different ways. One of the more dominant performances that I've seen. I mean, not just obviously the 19 tackles, but 3 fumble recoveries. Obviously, the one that was in the end zone for the touchdown. Give me your thoughts on defensively how that thing went.
I mean, Coach had the game plan, and my number was just one that happened to be called. It could have been any of those guys.
Yeah.
Whoever it went to, I'd step up and make the plays as they came, and it just happened to work that way.
It seems like, especially in the new defensive system and the place where they've got you right now, I mean, obviously, it's just game one, but that's a pretty good fit for you. I mean, you just seem to really take to that, whether it was just going with the pressure or, going as quick as you can. Do you like where they've kind of inserted you defensively this year?
Yes, sir. It gives me a little bit of an opportunity to read the play, whereas in years past it's just been go. This year it's kind of you get to read the play, see it develop, and make your decisions. You can play head games with the offense, and I like the analytical side of things like that.
Real quickly, OBA coming up. Obviously, it's the first home game, brand new Ranger Stadium. Everybody looking forward, I know, to playing on that facility in a real game. But what are you guys also doing? I know you guys, there was a lot of positives that came out of the Thomas game. Didn't get the win, but certainly felt good about a lot of things. But how do you turn that into this week and say, this is OBA team, we got to take care of business? How has that focus been this week?
Right, they play hard, so we've had to really make sure the intensity's there in practice, make sure everybody's firing off the ball and checking their assignments, checking reads, and really just help the overall communications. We had problems getting plays in last week on the defensive side, making sure that our front line was doing what they needed to do. So really it's just been get more communication going and make sure everybody's firing off the ball.
Well, again, it's been a long time since I've seen a performance quite like that with that amount of tackles and obviously the fumble recoveries and the touchdown. Great job by you, and we look forward to seeing you Friday.
Thank you very much. I have to give a shout-out, though, to my front line guys for filling those holes and bouncing everything out to where we could make the plays. So.
Absolutely. That's where it all goes. You bet. Our thanks to Ridge Eubanks, senior linebacker, talking to us, our defensive player of the game. And now we'll slide over and talk offense. Junior quarterback Austin Sklar. Really good overall game, not just from a statistical standpoint, but 85 yards rushing, had a touchdown, threw for 159 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Austin, thanks for taking some time with us. Offensively, it was a bit of a tough start, like with the defense early on. You guys get down 21-0. How did you guys, I know the coaches would said a lot of things to you, but how did you guys as players settle yourself down after you got into that hole?
I really don't know. We just kind of brought it all together.
Yeah.
We realized we got to step it up, kind of bring the stake a little bit, or we're not going to win a game. And, well, we gave it all we had. Well, we made mistakes, but, we recovered pretty well.
Seemed like we got that first touchdown, kind of settled in a little bit, got to 21-13 at half, and that's when I really felt like maybe you guys felt that too. Hey, we can play with these guys, and that seemed to carry over into the second half.
Yep. We at that moment we were going in at halftime and we were ready to come back out.
Yeah.
We really didn't want to go back in. We want to stay on the field and play. And we just came back out, gave it a lot, put in a lot of effort into that. But I really don't know.
Well, hey, that's a great drive to start the second half. We got the touchdown right off the bat. One of the reasons, not only just the numbers that you put in, Austin, but I think one of the reasons we picked you for our player of the game, just the toughness standpoint. As a quarterback, you know that you should be the guy that leads certainly the offense, and you want to be in there regardless. But you took a shot at one point from Cooper Marsh, their linebacker. Do you even remember when that shot took place? It was over on you guys' sideline, and it looked like there was some unsteady things as you're getting up. But you never once said, "I'm coming out" at all. You stayed in. I think the very next play we scored a touchdown. What was your? I mean, just It's just one of those things you don't even think about it. You just, I'm going to go.
Yeah, we were too into the game really to lay around too much.
Did you feel the effects of that later on at all?
I felt it then.
Okay.
But I don't know.
The adrenaline gets going, though, and kind of carries you through, I'm sure.
Yeah, we just wanted it really bad. We were going to go get it.
Well, OBA coming up this week. Again, a team we struggled with last week. Just real quickly, your thoughts on OBA and what you guys maybe can do offensively.
They're going to come here, and we're going to give them everything we have. We're going to get after them.
That's all we need to see, that's for sure. Austin, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right, our thanks to junior signal caller Austin Sklar, our offensive player of the game. We'll take a quick timeout, come back and take a final segment with Coach Sweatfinger, and then wrap it up. It's our Coach's Corner show tonight, live from Champs here on KELV. Welcome back to our Coach's Corner show here on 1430 KELV as we have a quick final segment with Coach Sweatfinger. Coach, real quickly, OBA, let's talk from an offensive standpoint for you guys. When you go against OBA's defense, what is that going to look like? What are the things we're going to have to exploit against them?
Well, we should be able to run the ball. And that's the thing I hope going in this week. I saw immediately that what we do, what we're built to do, and how they play defensively should go together. I mean, we should be able to do what we do and what we're good at. We had to change a little bit last week because of that 3-3 stack and how good they were up front. They're going to give us a front that we should be able to block. We've been, there's going to be 1 and a 3 up front, which is easier for our kids to understand our scheme with. So I look for us to be able to play fast. We did it at times last week, but we really should be able to play faster this week and get more comfortable. It's going to take a little bit to get in the game because it's a different look. They have a couple guys that, like I told you, that are extremely athletic. Baylor Boyd and the receiver, a kid that plays free safety, they can cover ground.
Now, Boyd didn't play against Fairview.
Did not play against Fairview.
Yeah.
And he is a good player. He makes that team go. He makes them or breaks them. And that Fairview score was extremely misleading. Fairview had 4 special teams touchdowns.
Yeah.
In the second quarter.
I think OBA had a lot of turnovers if
they
I look
did.
at the stats
they
right
did.
now.
And so, not to say that we won't force any either, but that should have been a closer game than it was. So our kids know that. We've already showed them that film. So we know where we're at with them. But offensively speaking, we should be able to run the ball. We should be able to play fast. We're going to get Austin out of the pocket a little bit. I like our sprint out game and things like that. So we should be able to do what we do.
Real quick, defensively, when you go, certainly their offense with Boyd in there is the big key. If he's there, they're going to be better.
Yeah.
But what are some of the things they'll really do well against us defensively, or that we can do well against them?
Well, I think we're going to be able to hold the line of scrimmage pretty well. I do. They're going to try to dive out on us. With their offense, a double wing, and what they quick motion, and so they'll have some option game out of it. That's what scares me a little bit. To be quite honest with you, is Baylor running the offense and getting that option game going after. We're going to take away the dive. I'm just telling you. They might hit it for 5 yards one time, but they're not. That's not going to be a big play. I hope not. Let me say that. But that's what this offense is designed to do. Is when you start taking the dive, then they start looking C to D option, and so hopefully we're disciplined. We're playing fast. We're not flying off of the ball. We're getting to the ball and wrapping up and not bouncing off of people. They have the ability to get the ball in space and do things with it. They're scary. They ran all over Newkirk's, rear end. So we better come ready. They're definitely a team that you cannot, like you said earlier, we're not in a position to do that to anybody. But it's hard to not look at what we did last week against who we did it against, and these kids look at them and think differently. But we match up well up front.
Should be nice, obviously, to get home. The new digs, everybody gets a chance to see that. That's going to be exciting, and I know you'd like to see a big crowd there.
No, I would love to see a big crowd there. I want this atmosphere to be something that's special to the community, to the kids. I hope that we look forward to Friday nights here. Like I said, I came from a place where that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I got to coach there, and I want it to be a big deal here. We've got the best facility in high school football.
Yeah.
In small college football as well in the country. This facility and this atmosphere that we can create with the tiers and the people on the field. It could be special. We've got that dinner at 6 o'clock in the tiers. Anybody is welcome to come to that. It's by donation. Our programs are going for sale. Our media guide's $5. And it's tremendously put together. I have a group of mothers that would not want me to say their names because they don't want to be. But they did an awesome job with that, and it's a different day, and we know that. And I would love for that place to be packed and be loud and be crazy for these kids and go out and get our W. On first time on the field, first new, like you said, new everything. It's a new day, and so let's start it off right. And let's start a winning streak. Why not?
Why not? So we've gone the other way, right?
Let's start a winning streak.
Let's go in the other way.
Let's start it up. Let's go. Let's start a winning streak.
Sounds good. I'm all for it.
All
Coach, appreciate the time. We'll do it again, of course, next Wednesday, and we'll see you out there Friday, and good luck to you.
All right, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, you bet. Our thanks to Taylor Sweatfigger, Goldbug head coach, as the Bugs get ready for OBA on Friday night. Again, don't forget our pregame show gets underway 6:30, kickoff 7 o'clock from Ranger Field. You can catch it. We're going to take a timeout, get you back, and then in just a few moments, slide you over and talk Ranger football with Inside the Lines. This has been our Coach's Corner show tonight, live on 1430 KELD.